Could the upcoming cardboard Virtual Boy finally bring Zelda's VR experience to the Switch 2? Here's a surprising fact that most gamers might not know. One of the greatest video games ever made, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, actually has an official VR mode. But here's where it gets controversial. This VR experience is far from the high-end virtual reality you're used to with devices like the Oculus Rift. Breath of the Wild runs in VR on the original Nintendo Switch by physically holding the console inside a cardboard headset, specifically the Nintendo Labo VR kit, right up to your face. The game operates at just 30 frames per second, with a resolution even lower than the Oculus DK2, which might make some wonder if it's worth it. Back in 2019, Jamie Feltham gave this VR mode a score of 3 out of 10 for Upload VR, and frankly, didn't mince words. I never imagined Nintendo would get Breath of the Wild running in VR. So credit where it's due. You can play this modern masterpiece with Labo VR hardware strapped to your face if you want. But honestly, doing so might feel like a disservice to the beautiful world of Hyrule. To clarify for newcomers, the Breath of the Wild VR mode isn't a separate game. It's an accessory-powered extension of the Labo VR kit, which Nintendo launched as an immersive and robust cardboard-based VR solution. The Labo VR package features cleverly designed minigames that actually outshine Breath of the Wild's VR implementation in both creativity and fun, thanks to the way they smartly work with Nintendo's Joy-Con motion tracking technology, limited as it is. Now, here's the intriguing part. It appears possible to activate Breath of the Wild's VR mode on the Switch 2, Nintendo's next-generation console. But there's a catch. The original Labo VR headset doesn't fit the Switch 2, which means using the old cardboard rig isn't an option anymore. Enter the newly announced $25 cardboard Virtual Boy style accessory for Switch and Switch 2. This new headset reportedly has lenses that are nearly identical to those in the Labo VR kit, sparking hope among fans. Could this mean that Breath of the Wild and perhaps other Nintendo titles might finally be playable in VR on the Switch 2? Out of the box, even if the lenses are the same, the Switch 2's slightly different screen size might cause hiccups. For example, Breath of the Wild's VR mode reduces the size of the dual-rendered images on the Switch OLED model's bigger screen to make things look right. But it doesn't seem that this resizing is currently happening on Switch 2. However, the fact that Nintendo has already adjusted the VR display for a larger screen suggests a relatively simple software update could bring VR support to Switch 2. Considering the Switch 2 is rumored to have a much more powerful GPU and a 1080p display, this could translate to a VR experience with higher resolution and much smoother performance than what's possible on the original Switch. If that happens, exploring the vast world of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild VR could become a truly magical experience rather than just a quirky tech demo. And it's not just Zelda fans who might benefit. Other popular titles like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Super Mario Odyssey, which are compatible with Labo VR, could also get a visual and performance boost by coming to VR on Switch 2. For many Switch owners who still have their Labo VR cardboard boxes stashed away, taking a brief stroll around Hyrule in VR is still a unique and memorable experience. But what's exciting is the possibility that this could evolve into something far more polished and immersive with the new hardware and accessories. Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 are receiving official Virtual Boy accessories. Adding fuel to the fire, Nintendo is releasing official Virtual Boy accessories for both the Switch and Switch 2. These accessories allow subscribers of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack to insert their consoles and play classic 3D games like Mario's Tennis with enhanced depth effects reminiscent of the original Virtual Boy style. Personally, If I upgrade to Switch 2, I'd love to retire my first Switch inside a $100 plastic Virtual Boy accessory stand, making it a nostalgic centerpiece in my office. It also symbolizes Nintendo's surprising long-term connection to VR and 3D gaming innovations over the decades. Meanwhile, the $25 cardboard Virtual Boy headset would be my go-to for portable VR sessions on Switch 2. But here's the question, Nintendo. Could we please see Zelda in VR on the Switch 2 with full color and sharp graphics, just playable off a cartridge without the need for any subscription? This would truly honor the game's legacy and delight fans worldwide. What do you think? Is it time for Nintendo to finally deliver a VR Zelda experience worthy of the Switch 2's hardware, or should they focus on other innovations in gaming? Would you embrace a cardboard VR headset on your next console, or is this just a niche gimmick? Share your thoughts, and let's debate the future of Zelda and VR together.